When you compile a list of the greatest action movies ever made, the first question you have to ask is, what's an action movie? An action movie should thrill, consistently, stringing together a combination of speed, stunts, shock twists, and simple acts of heroism. However, here are 10 greatest action movies of all time. If you're a fan of being the smartest of all our friends, why not hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, The Majestic. Your friends might call you a know-it-all, but that's only because they're jealous. You really will know it all. Casino Royale. Instinct told us to name Goldfinger, The Spy Who Loved Me, or even The Living Daylights as a representative of the Bond franchise. But we had to be real. Daniel Craig's first outing as 007 is the franchise's action apex, balancing psychological drama and a much darker, grittier Bond than some of his dandyish predecessors, with some of the most visually stunning action sequences to date. The opening, a black and white hand-to-hand bathroom fight scene, is just brutal. Bond's high-throttle Parker chase scene atop the cranes and rooftops of Madagascar still provokes gasps, even on the umpteenth viewing. Casino Royale is not for the faint of heart, the defibrillator scene. Which is why it's so daring. 5 Deadly Venoms. The Shaw brothers were the leading purveyors of kung fu cinema throughout the 1960s and 70s. Their studio's output, colorful, traditional, and kinetic, inspired everything from American action cinema to 70s breakdance culture. 5 Deadly Venoms and the 36th Chamber of Shaolin were the masterpieces. We're siding with Venoms for its kaleidoscopic, outlandish sensibility. Hired to snuff out the evil masked fighters plaguing his master's land, a dedicated pupil hits the road with each villain's weakness in his back pocket. Though lacking the female voices of earlier Shaw Brothers works, and aggressively Yangon, 5 Deadly Venoms emphasizes the artistry of a good fight. A hard hit is only as good as the costumes, sets, and performers surrounding it. Venoms has it all, relentless and elegant, with the right amount of cheese. The Matrix. Combining its signature slow-mo, 360-degree bullet time sequences with artfully choreographed Hong Kong-style martial arts scenes, the Wachowskis' path-breaking sci-fi epic set a new bar for special effects done right. As much of a kinetic and visual triumph as it was a psychological mindfuck, and that's saying something. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Like he did with Alien, James Cameron took his own horror franchise. Yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger's T-800 is right up there with Jason Voorhees and the Michael Myers, and blew it out for an action sequel. Converting Arnold from bad to good guy is egregious. Let's look past that. Terminator 2 is a raging chase movie, laser-focused like Robert Patrick's Liquid Metal Assassin and an ode to Los Angeles infrastructure. There's a joy to seeing Schwarzenegger play protector to Edward Furlong's wily John Connor, but Linda Hamilton, as the unhinged, guns-blazing Sarah Connor, pushes Terminator 2 into the upper echelon of action dom. Nothing can contain her, which works out well for us spectators. The Road Warrior. As Mad Max, Fury Road tops critics' lists and racks up Oscar nominations, it's worth remembering where the cylinders first fired. No, not the first Mad Max film, more of a grungy cop drama. We're talking about The Road Warrior, George Miller's soft reboot of the 1979 original. With Mel Gibson's taciturn, raw performance, outlandish character designs, and its final pulverizing chase sequence, the movie defined what the phrase post-apocalyptic would mean for future generations. In the process, it also set a new bar for pure gasoline-fueled, pedal-to-the-metal insanity, one that has, arguably, never been topped. Commando. Mark Lester's boiled-down shoot-'em-up loses some of its luster in the wake of Second Amendment debates. That's a testament to Schwarzenegger's commitment to the superheroic John Matrix, whose one-liners rip as quickly as his bullets. Commando is a war movie with one man on the good guy team. Matrix smashes through walls, breaks out of planes, twirls down shopping mall banners, definitely an 80s movie, and fires every known weapon at a band of South American criminals who kidnap his daughter. It's mayhem, but thoughtful mayhem. Shakespeare would approve of the movie's classic line, "Let off some steam, Bennett," uttered after Schwarzenegger impales the villain with a steam pipe. Speed. You don't question speed. There's no time. An elevator bomb tells us Dennis Hopper's random demanding bomber is a showman. When he rigs explosives to a public bus speedometer, we know he's a madman. An array of explosive, practical stunts helps everything else fall into place. Speed is the ultimate A to B to C action movie, accelerating from beginning to end without losing track of the characters in jeopardy. Keanu Reeves' Jack thinks before he acts. Sandra Bullock's Annie rises to the occasion. We route for the melting pot on board the bus to come out on top. A countdown clock, and the best action score ever written, apply pressure. You can't question speed. Hard-boiled. The crown jewel of director John Woo's bullet-ridden filmography, Hard-Boiled is a jazzy, uncompromising exercise in pure cool. Having already earned his reputation as a major action filmmaker with classics like The Killer and A Better Tomorrow, Woo crafted this story of rogue Hong Kong cop Tequila Yoon, Chow Yun-fat, by plucking bits and pieces from all his favorite influences, Le Samurai, Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry, and the chilly remove of Steve McQueen. He added insane, near-operatic gun battles, including a stunning confrontation in a hospital, pushing his own slow-mo and pigeons aesthetic to new poetic heights. That he left for America after completing this film, battling with producers while enlivening largely forgettable Hollywood movies, only makes the film more irkingly beautiful. It's the perfect long goodbye. Die Hard. Die Hard is funny but never silly. It's thrilling but not horrifying. It's simple but rarely dumb. In walking that precarious tonal line, director John McTiernan crafted the platonic ideal of what an action movie should be. Bruce Willis, who in 1988 was mostly known as the guy from Moonlighting, pushed against the roided-out regulars of the era with wisecracks, setting the stage for the in-over-their-heads everyman to come. And, in Alan Rickman's Hans Gruber, the film gave us an erudite movie villain. The film was so influential that in the 90s it became its own genre. Die Hard on a blank was the pitch heard across the globe, and the more recent sequels have sullied the brand as they turn Willis into an invincible superhero. But that hasn't sucked any of the glass-shattering, catchphrase-coining power of the original. Welcome to the party, pal. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Steven Spielberg shows his work at every step of his action masterpiece. Indiana Jones' first adventure is like a comic book, flipped through at 24 panels a second. Nazis drag our hero along Cairo's dusty streets, strongmen, and a whirling propeller, threaten to squash him to pulp in the fisticuffs of a lifetime, and a megaton boulder chases him through a cobwebbed labyrinth. Not once through it all does Spielberg slip in a throwaway cut or zig when he should zag just to disorient us. Raiders is immaculate, each angle worth printing out and hanging on the wall. And it's all in service to Harrison Ford and Karen Allen, who glow like a pair of golden idols as a warring, bumbling, fearless, made-for-each-other duo. What did you think of the list? Did we leave off one of your personal favorites? Have you seen all these movies? Let us know in the comments. Give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.